The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
Had they decided when they were coming back from Vietnam?
They were undecided.
But they were coming back for the bar mitzvah?
Oh, definitely. They wouldn't miss it for the world.
You were speaking to Mrs. Adelson after the verdict came out about her son being convicted, correct?
Yes.
Was she upset about that?
Yes. She was considering taking her own life.
Donna's defense rolls on this morning. So will her convicted son Charlie take the fall? And will we see Mama Donna take the stand? Plus, testimony set to get underway this hour for the matriarch mastermind murder trial. We're going to take you live to Florida as soon as the judge is on the bench. Plus, Cardi B is cleared. The rapper found not liable in her civil assault case. So will we see her in a courtroom again? Also this hour, we're spotlighting a disturbing case as a cheerleader at the University of Kentucky is out on bond this morning after her baby was found dead in her closet. It's all coming up next for you right here on Opening Statements. Good Wednesday morning to you and welcome to Opening Statements. I'm Julie Grant. Are you ready for some coffee and some court? That's what I like to say this show is all about. We get you all warmed up and ready to go for the big day ahead on Court TV Live. Got a big show to get us started. So grab that cup of coffee. It's time for my opening statement. John Denver famously sang about country roads taking him home. A beautiful song about that feeling that we have when we just can't wait to get back home. I wonder if Mama Donna would have had those same feelings if she made it to Vietnam. Her friends testified that she always intended to come back home to Florida. They mentioned that she was a definite for a homecoming for her grandson's bar mitzvah. But really, we'll never know because Mama Donna was arrested before she boarded that plane and she got acquainted with her new temporary home, the county jail. So now the big question for Donna is whether she'll be able to return to her Florida home or her place of peace, Vietnam. It may depend in large part on her prince, Charlie. So if Charlie takes the stand and takes full responsibility for Dan Markel's murder, while absolving his mother of any responsibility, Mama Donna just might get a second chance to go home. Prince Charlie just might have the power to change the course of history. You know, that's one way of looking at it. Another way is that the evidence against Donna is so damaging that there is no way she'll enjoy any country roads ever again. That's my opening statement. Let me know if you like it. Right now, it's time for your daily docket.
Mr. Becker stated that Ms. Krebs looked directly at him. I believe he stated he looked into my eyes and said, just tell the police that JJC stabbed himself.
In Wisconsin, a brand new trial getting underway today. We're calling the Kiss and Kill murder trial for Samantha Krebs. This woman is accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death. Jury selection starts up at 9 a.m. Eastern. In California, we've got Michaela Rylersdam, mispronunciation there, Rylersdam. She's got a hearing at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You may not remember her legal name, but you might remember she's the OnlyFans model accused of murder after a client died during a fetish session with her. So we're going to be covering that hearing today. And in Florida, the case I was just talking about, Mama Donna Adelson's case resumes this morning, and her defense team has more they want to present. So will today be the day we see Donna take the stand? What about her convicted son, Charlie? Tuesday's case began with some old friends. Richard Chagrin took the stand claiming that Donna always planned to return to the United States after she bought that one-way ticket to Vietnam.
When you sat down to assist with the reservations, what did you discover?
The ironic thing was that the round trip was a fraction more than one way, and I suggested, since you don't know when you're coming back until sometime in January, book a one-way, and I remember commenting to Harvey, I said, I'd be willing to bet it's cheaper to fly from Vietnam to the United States than it is from the United States to Vietnam.
At the time that you were assisting them on November 7th of 2023 with the travel, had they decided when they were coming back from Vietnam?
They were undecided, other than the fact that they were going to, whether it was prior to the bar mitzvah or just before the bar mitzvah, they didn't know how long they were going to be gone.
But they were coming back for the bar mitzvah?
Oh, definitely. They wouldn't miss it for the world.
Donna's defense team insists that she was never fleeing the country. No, they say that her 2023 arrest was just stopping her before taking this trip that was going to have her return home at some point in time. We know that this arrest, though, key to the state's case, right? Because they're using it as flight, as consciousness of guilt. This happened just days after Charlie was convicted. So what can we expect on day number 2 of the defense case? Will Charlie fall on the sword? Let's talk about it. Let's bring in our legal eagles, attorneys Casey Early and Franz Borghardt on the show this morning. Good morning to you both. All right, so first question. Will Charlie defend Donna? Will he defend his mother's honor? Franz Borghardt, what do you say?
So I have said from day one, there's no way he's fallen on the sword. To fall on the sword would be to admit that he's guilty of the crime that I'm quite sure he's appealing right now. A son's love for a mother goes deep, Julie, but not that deep. I don't see this guy taking a bullet for his mom. And I think you alluded to it earlier in your opening statement. Even if he does that really change anything? I don't know that it does. I think the closing argument for the prosecution at that point would be what son wouldn't try to save his mother, being that he's already in the position he's in. But there's no way he's gonna say that mama had nothing to do with it.
Appreciate it. Casey, tell me, do you agree? And when do you think we might see Charlie? A 2-part question for you, please.
His testimony is not going to be credible at all because, again, he has that pending appeal. Number one, he's not going to take the fall for his mother because even in his first trial, he didn't implicate her. And even with Donna, she's messed up all around because evidence of flight is evidence of guilt. One-way ticket to the Vietnam, even if the defense tries to go with this theory that she just wanted to get away from it all. Well, when I want to get away from it all, I take a flight to Jamaica, but I usually take a round trip. I know when I'm coming back. So even with that testimony about, oh, she would have missed it for the world, you're absolutely right. She could have attended that bar mitzvah via Zoom. So I don't buy it. It doesn't move the needle. It's not looking good for Donna.
Right. And Casey, great example. We're thinking of R&R. Jamaica's a great example of a place to go. I don't know who's thinking, oh, Vietnam, rest and relaxation. That's where we want to go. Let's talk a little bit more about when we think Charlie might testify. Because, okay, every morning we've been saying, okay, are we getting closer? Are we getting closer? First, we thought the state might call him. They didn't. I have a feeling it may be today. Franz, is it just me?
So I think it would be today. Now, here's the thing. If it were me defending her, I thought that she was going to testify, and I'm living my life that she will testify, that her defense attorney in a pretrial hearing said as much, you're going to end with her. That is the crescendo you end with. So you would want to put him on before that. But I mean, they have to be running out of witnesses, Julie. So I would assume that it could be today.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great estimation for exactly the reason you said, Franz. I was talking off camera with my team. Like you said, Donna needs to bat cleanup. If she's going to get up there, she needs to have the benefit of having heard everybody else's testimony before she takes the stand. Let's listen to some more from her friend, Ron Gutterson, talking about how the trial for her son Charlie really affected both Donna and hubby Harvey.
During Charlie's trial, can you describe Donna and Harvey's state of mind, how they were feeling about things?
To put it mildly, extremely upset, off the wall.
Okay, Casey, this gentleman was just one of many friends that came on the stand yesterday to really let the jury know what kind of person Donna is and how this really affected her. Were these friends effective with the jury, do you think?
Not at all. And here's why. He said, how was she feeling after, like after the conviction, after the trial, after the arrest? But what about how were you feeling after your son-in-law was brutally murdered? Like, it doesn't sway me either way. In fact, it makes them look more culpable because you're only afraid, you're only upset because, wait a minute, they just convicted my son. They can very well arrest and convict us, hence why you try to flee the country. So I don't buy it. I believe that she was upset, but not for the reasons that they're trying to portray, that she was, emotionally distraught. It really does not, once again, make her look innocent or in a better light simply because her actions afterwards is contrary to a person who's truly innocent.
Right. Let's talk some more about Mama's boy, Charlie. Let's look at a clip from him back in 2023 on the stand.
So I wanted my mom to know what happened, but I also didn't want her saying anything to anybody. So I told my mom, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something, but I never want to talk about it again. I never want you to talk to me about it on the phone. Don't talk about it anywhere. And please, whatever you do not say anything to Dad. Do not say anything to Wendy. Do not try to make me go to the police because I'm not going. You got to promise me all that, and then I'll tell you.
And what did you tell your mom?
I told her that the night of the 18th, I got extorted for $250,000.
Franz, do you think the prince is going to stick with his story of extortion?
I think he has to. Again, so here's the thing about narcissists. It's all about them. And I have to believe that he is going to maintain his innocence throughout his life sentence. And he cannot get on the stand and contradict himself. He cannot get on the stand and admit culpability if he's going to be that narcissist that I think deep down we all know that he is.
Thanks so much for that, Franz. I agree with you. We'll see if today is the day. We don't know. Again, the prosecution is not letting anybody know what their plan is, the order of the witnesses, but just a hunch. You know, he's being held. He's in Leon County, so he's ready to rock and roll. All right, we'll leave it there. Casey Early, Franz Borghardt, stand by for more cues, if you would, please. We're going to hit our first break of the hour. When we come back, here's what's next for you on Opening Statements.
I'm giving a warning. I am not that celeb that you're gonna sue and you think it's gonna settle. I'm not gonna settle, especially when I'm super, completely innocent. I know I got a little reputation, but I swear to God, I'm innocent. I swear to God, like this, like I'm really innocent for real.
Cardi B being Cardi B, her civil case is over. So what comes next for the rapper? Plus, a college cheerleader accused of hiding a dead infant in her closet. We're spotlighting the disturbing case out of Kentucky.
The Court TV podcast will return.
Welcome back. Cardi B is celebrating the jury's decision in her civil case after the Grammy Award-winning rapper received a unanimous verdict in her favor on Tuesday.
Was it unanimous, juror number 1? Yes. Number 2? Yes. Number 3?
Yes.
Number 4? Yes. Number 5?
Yes.
Number 6?
Yes.
Number 7?
Yes.
Number 8?
Yes.
Number 9?
Yes.
Number 10?
Yes.
11?
Yes.
And 12?
Yes.
All right, sounds like it was unanimous verdict. There's all questions. Can the clerk please record the verdict?
The verdict has been recorded, Your Honor.
What we just heard was the polling of the jury of 6 women and 6 men. They deliberated for just about an hour. After their verdict of no liability for Cardi B, the rapper put the focus onto her children while warning about any future courtroom opponents.
I know you guys having a little key with the moment, but to be honest with you, I have missed my kids' first day of school today. I missed my kids' last week of school yesterday because of this. And I'm not even playing around. I will, even if I'm in my deathbed, I swear to God, I will say it in my deathbed. I did not touch that woman. I did not touch that girl. I didn't lay my hands on that girl. And with that being said, this time around, I'm going to be nice. The next person that try to do a frivolous lawsuit against me, I'm going to countersue.
So will this be the last we'll see of Cardi in court? Let's talk about this and the verdict. Let's bring back in our legal eagles, Casey Early and Franz Borgard, and welcome in media personality and rapper Head Crack. Good morning to you all. Head Crack, let me start with you. Your thoughts on the verdict and whether we'll ever see Cardi back in court?
I mean, I saw this verdict coming a mile away. I mean, like, everything was going in Cardi's favor. The way she worked the crowd, the way she had her answers prepared, the way her team got it together, and just kind of knowing how these things flow in the public space sometimes, you know, when people see celebrities and the way they try to go about approaching them. I knew that this woman probably approached it some weird sideways and probably got some choice words from Cardi B, but I don't think a pregnant Cardi B would have put hands on a woman who was a security guard and much bigger than her. So this played out the way I thought it was, and hopefully this is a lesson to anybody out there in the space that wants to bring a lawsuit against somebody, you know, thinking they're going to get something out of it because, you know, you're just wasting people's time.
Yeah, so true. I'm so glad she fought it. I'm so glad she didn't settle. I saw a comment on one of my socials about somebody said, "Welcome to America, the land of the frivolous lawsuits," if I can get that out. And it's so true. I mean, people can just sue for the crazy reasons, baseless claims. It's awful. It's not right. But maybe that's a debate for another day. Casey Early, I want to get your reaction, thoughts on the verdict, and then, of course, whether we'll see more of Cardi in court.
Well, first of all, I said it last week, the facts were bad for the plaintiff, so she was doomed from the beginning. But my advice to Cardi is your reputation precedes you, and if you don't want to miss out on your child's first day of school, if you want to be in the studio as opposed to the courtroom, just think before you act. But you know what? She gave some sound advice, and I have respect for her because she did tell her fans that she has over 163 million fans on Instagram alone to leave her alone. Leave Miss Ellis alone. Don't, tag her or don't do anything, any cyberbullying. And I can respect that because she utilized her influence in a positive way. So maybe she's showing us a little grace, but at the same time, that incident about throwing the pen to the reporter, some anger management courses may do her some good.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the pen at the reporter. I'm glad you mentioned that, Casey. And thank you for the mention about her telling her followers not to do any bullying or harassing. That is awesome. More people need to do that. Take a page out of Cardi's book. That is really, really great. Franz, last but certainly not least, what's your thoughts on everything?
I'm a little disappointed. My girl has a lyric, "I always do the most." I was hoping she was going to say, "I'm going to sue the medical facility and the security company." Because at the end of the day, what really bothered me about this is you shouldn't have to go and worry about getting filmed while you're going to see your doctor. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you're in the public limelight. And that was the thing that got under my skin the entire time. I love the grace of, hey, leave this woman alone. It was frivolous. She was lying. But the bigger issue for me, and I hoped that the bigger issue for her was going to be, look, I come to the medical facility to take care of my child, my unborn child, not to get accosted by a security guard who's supposed to be making this place safe for people like me. So I was slightly disappointed, not surprised at the pin toss, but slightly disappointed.
Franz, that's an excellent point. You know, she has arguably good grounds here to go after some people. You're right. She's a human being. She needs to be treated like a human being. And for me, that was the moment, because that was something I didn't know until I saw her testimony, how this whole thing started. I think that got lost in all of the media reporting about it. And it was really about her being followed and filmed while she's getting medical care. Not right. Let's hear from the plaintiff now. The plaintiff shared her reaction to the verdict. Her name again, Imani Ellis. Let's take a look.
Ms. Amati, are you disappointed with the verdict?
Not at all. I don't think that it reflects the truth, but I'm not disappointed. We know that the justice system is sometimes flawed, and unfortunately, that was the case for me. Like I said, I still stand firm on my position. I still stand firm on my attorney. I think we fought a good fight, but like I said, more importantly, it's about accountability. I had my day in court. I showed up.
Okay, Headcrack, back to you. What did you think of the plaintiff's thoughts that she shared with the public after the verdict?
I mean, I can't even front. When she was talking, and all my head was translating it to was wah, 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 wah. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you knew what the story was. And, you know, and I'm a person who feels like the real economy of everything is time. And you can waste some of my money, and I'm going to feel a way about it. Please, for the love of teenage and baby Jesus, do not waste my time. And I feel like, you know, like to make Cardi B miss her kid's first day of school, you know, like she's supposed to be on a promo run right now promoting this new album. You wasted a lot of people's time. And, you know, it's in the Bible. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Do not say things happened that didn't happen and go as far as getting legal representation and trying to sue for a ridiculous amount. So I didn't really want to hear much of what she had to say. I heard what she said. They were words. They were put together in a sentence form, and she said it into a microphone. But did those things register with me? Not at all.
I love that you're always so honest. Headcrack, thank you for that. All right, Casey, we talked about the pen a couple moments ago. You alluded to that incident. For anybody that missed it, we've got the video. So this was, let me set the scene, before the verdict announcement. This was just during a court break, and she's outside of the courthouse and responding to what somebody was doing with her questions. Let's take a look.
Hey, Cardi, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Cardi, insiders are claiming that Offset is publicly bragging about getting you pregnant for the 4th time. Do you foresee any paternity issues with Stephon Diggs?
On the microphone, please.
Cardi, your court look is amazing. Who are you wearing?
I still love you, even though you just threw some stuff at me.
I don't care. You're disrespectful. Don't do that. Do you see women asking those type of questions to me?
No,
you see
ma'am.
women asking those questions to me?
It's a legit
Why
question.
do you feel as a man you get to ask me those type of questions? Act like you have some manners.
She told him to have some manners. She said the ladies weren't asking her disrespectful questions, just this man. There's the replay for you. So you could see it was a pen that she was about to use for autographs there that she threw. That videographer said that he was being disrespectful. Okay, so does this make her appear violent? There was some concern at the time, oh no, is this going to affect the case? But the jury didn't see that. The jury couldn't even consider that, didn't see it, so want everybody to know that. But if you're her attorneys, you might be going, cringy moment. Casey, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, and let's take it this way. That question was totally disrespectful, out of line. I get it. But Cardi knows good and well we can't control other people's actions, but we can control ours. It's like I'm talking to my children, right? So don't be easily provoked if you know you have an anger issue, because then, again, your reputation is what matters. And if you're trying to stay out of court, then this is not the right behavior. What she should have done was everything else minus the pen, right? What she said was valid. You speak your point, you move on. But when you have those ignorant reporters, ignorant questions, or ignorant trolls, you just have to learn how to ignore them, because you can't use all of your energy on ignorance. So, Cardi, just do better.
Good points. Franz, let me go to you next. The pen incident, let's say you're her counsel. How worried are you at that point after you've worked so hard, you know, to let everybody know this was just a verbal incident, and then you see something that is somewhat physical, you know, the throwing of an object at someone else?
Before the trial, during the trial, and even while they're deliberating, I always give the pep talk of, you have to assume the jury is seeing everything and anything. If one of those jurors would have saw this, the knee jerk might have been, well, this is consistent with somebody that might have scratched somebody at a doctor's office, right? So we try to indoctrinate our clients with, you have to live your life on your P's and Q's during the trial. This guy, look, inside, I absolutely would have I probably would have done worse than throw a pin at her. And I'm not a violent person. I'm a very loving person. totally inappropriate comment, but man, oh man, if I was her attorney, I would have probably said something like, have you lost your mind? You cannot do that. You cannot do that at the courthouse steps. If one of those jurors gets wind of this, it could sink our ship.
Yeah, very true. Very true. She's lucky that nobody did and that it didn't go any further than that. So let's look at another clip from Cardi B. Of course, we at Court TV loved hearing this. Take a look.
How you like the Court TV coverage, Cardi?
You got good angles of me. You got good angles.
Court TV angles was amazing. Can I get that on tape?
Court TV, you had some good angles of me now.
Court TV? Thank you,
Except for the first day.
I had you covered, though.
Except for the first day.
I had you covered, though.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it was hard to hear, but she essentially was very pleased with Court TV's filming of her, said she liked the good angles. And we always say we're the best in the business when it comes to filming trials, and that's a big shout out to all of our incredible videographers who go in the courtrooms day in and day out and position the cameras and mic everybody up. They're outstanding. Head Craig, let's end with you. What do you think comes next for Cardi B? What does she need to do in the next couple days, in weeks, in your opinion?
Stay away from people she don't know. You know what I'm saying? Surround yourself with the core team that has your best interest in mind. You know, make it to all the PTA meetings. Continue to boss up that, hey, I wouldn't put no harm on anybody image, and deliver that album that people have been waiting like almost 8 years for. That's what the streets really want. Get back in the studio, get this content done before, you know, it's a little bit difficult to do because, you know, you want to make sure you have a good, safe pregnancy. And, yo, man, and live life. Have fun. It's been a crazy last couple years. We want to see fun Cardi B 24/7.
That's such great advice. Head Craig, you're the best. Thank you so much. We got to let you get off to do your show. We'll see you soon. Franz and Casey are coming with us. Do the same at home, please. We're going to hit a break, and when we come back, we're turning to a story that's making national headlines out of Kentucky. A cheerleader arrested over the weekend. She's accused of hiding her dead baby in her closet. Plus, let's go to Florida, take a live look at the courtroom now, getting ready for Mama's Donna's defense to roll on. Will today be the day she takes the stand?
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
Welcome back to Opening Statements. This morning, we're shining our spotlight on the University of Kentucky cheerleader, Laken Snelling, who's accused in a case involving her deceased baby. So the 21-year-old is out of jail after her arrest over the weekend. Authorities say that her deceased infant was found inside of a closet at Snelling's home. They say the infant was found wrapped in a towel and placed inside of a black trash bag. She is facing charges of abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. This is what we believe to be Laken Snelling's latest TikTok post. Among her goals, a family emoji and a mom nursing a baby emoji. Okay. Now, Snelling was in court on Tuesday, where she pleaded not guilty, posted a $100,000 bond, and is now on home confinement. Her next court date is September 26. Now, I want to be very clear. She's not facing murder charges. Okay? It seems that investigators are going to try to determine the baby's cause of death and then proceed accordingly. So it's unclear how the baby died at this point. So that is the reason that you're not hearing murder as one of the charges, and we don't even know if it's applicable. So I want to be very clear about that. Let's bring in our expert guests and talk a bit about this death investigation, what it may yield and how long it may take. I want to welcome in board-certified forensic pathologist Dr. Priya Banerjee and forensic death investigator and professor at Jacksonville State University, Joseph Scott Morgan. Good morning to you both. Professor Joe, starting with you, please. Police say the Fayette County Coroner's Office are the ones who are investigating this infant's cause of death. How long would you expect this to take?
I would imagine that the pathologist that's leading this case for the coroner is not going to take an incredibly long time in order to come back with a cause of death. And that's very important here because, as you mentioned off the top, there are no homicide charges at this point, okay? What's going to be very important is the testing that they're going to do in the lab I'd keep a very close eye on any information that's coming out of the coroner, because that is going to be the tale of the tape.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Dr. Priya Banerjee, tell us a little bit about what you expect the forensic pathologist to be looking for at autopsy.
So these are incredibly complex cases. I've handled not quite a few, but a few in my career, and I'm glad they're limited to that. What's going on is that you have to prove, which is incredibly difficult, whether the baby was born alive or not, to then, if it was alive, to then bring murder charges. So that's a big if. It is very difficult just from, there can be so many variables as to why even a full-born or full-term baby can be born, stillborn, and even an autopsy doesn't always find the cause. And so if it's nebulous like that, they may not be able to prove the murder charges. I also don't know the condition of the body of the baby, and plastic is not breathable. And so that can promote decomposition very quickly, sort of, help the tissue disintegrate more, get what's called macerated. And so that can also limit how accurate any autopsy findings are. And I just want to highlight that there have been a lot of convictions overturned and sort of disparities, if you will, with the float test. There was a test that's shown to be erroneous where lungs float in water at autopsy, and that's been used to quote unquote prove homicides in the past, but that can be false positive with decomposition. There's a lot of, it's a test fraught with problems, so that's not thought to be reliable anymore. So you really have a lot of investigation and studies to do to even try to prove whether the baby was born alive.
Definitely. Thank you for all that, Dr. Priya. Professor Joe, back to you, please. Something I learned from the late, great Dr. Cyril Wecht is correlation, how we take what we know at autopsy and we marry it to the facts that we're gathering, from police, from investigators doing the interviewing. Professor, tell me, what are some of the questions you have that you think would be important in helping us gather the full story of what exactly happened to this little baby?
I think probably the histrionics of the pregnancy. I'd like to know, had she received any kind of prenatal care at all? I'd like to know something about her mental health. That could go to intentionality. It could go to any kind of psychopathology that's involved in this where she cannot exercise due care. But to the doctor's point just a second ago, right she is about how that bag that the baby's found kind of swaddled in towels, I think, and other cloth, and then placed into a bag. She's right about the decomposition. It's promoted by plastic. Here's the other thing, though, and I go back to this idea of charges pending or potential charges. That bag is non-porous. If, in fact, this child was, in fact, and it can be proven, was born alive, and you place a living child inside of a bag, what do they always tell us, even with our newborns? You can't have bags in the cradle. You can't have them. Don't allow kids to play with this. Dry cleaning bags, garbage bags. Now you're talking about placing an infant into a plastic bag. So that's why this is so very essential. I think that Dr. Wecht would look at that and see if there's any corollary between that. God rest his soul, by the way.
Oh, I love that. I know how much you admired him as well, Professor.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about the delivery. Does the delivery tell us anything, Dr. Priya? I think some of us wondering if she's willing to talk about what exactly happened. Can that be clues for you as a forensic pathologist?
Oh, yes. So, the more investigation, the more information, the better. Okay. And so any of these we ask, I think the police investigation is going to be huge. Who's the baby's father? Did the friends or family have any indication that she was pregnant? In her courtroom stance in that red dress. She looks rather thin in profile. You know, she doesn't have that postpartum belly where, you know, it takes months for the uterus to shrink back down. She doesn't look heavy. I mean, you know, so I definitely had weight to lose from my pregnancy. And so I just want to see if it was even obvious to people around her. She was an athlete. You know, was she able to participate? And then, you know, where was this baby delivered? Where was the crime scene, if you will? You know, where are these towels from? Was it her house? Was anybody home? And did anybody hear the baby cry? That is a single, probably to me, one of the most important factors if that can be determined.
Yeah, all really helpful pieces of information, things to look for as this investigation continues. Boy, I could talk to you both all day, but I have to be done asking you questions for now because we have to go to Florida with the Adelson trial starting up. Dr. Priya Banerjee, Professor Joseph Scott Morgan, thank you both so very much. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we'll go to Florida together. I'll show you a live look as we're heading to our commercial break. There's Donna Adelson in the courtroom with her attorneys getting ready for the second day of her defense case. She's choosing to present a defense. Important to remember, she doesn't have to do a thing. She can rest on the presumption of innocence, but she isn't. She's putting forth evidence. We'll watch who's coming next together live.
This is the Court TV podcast.
Welcome back to Opening Statements. Let's go into the courtroom in Florida. We've got the first witness on the stand in Donna Adelson's trial.
Please raise your right hand. Good morning. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give today will be the truth?
I do.
You may take your seat.
Thank you.
You may examine when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Kristen Adamson.
And Ms. Addison, how are you employed?
I'm a lawyer.
What type of law do you practice?
I practice family law, and I have done so for 37 years.
How long have you been practicing?
37 years.
Okay. Are you board certified?
Yes, I am board certified in marriage and family law by the Florida Supreme Court.
What's involved in becoming board certified?
And I've been board certified since 1996. I had to take a test on family law, and I had to pass a peer review by judges and my colleague in the Florida Bar Family Law Section. I have to recertify every 5 years, so I've had to also do that every 5 years. I'm coming up, I think 2026, I will be in my thing again where I'll have to recertify.
Have you received any other accolades or awards throughout your career for your work in family law?
I was heavily involved in the Florida Bar Family Law Section on the Executive Council for a long time. I am a fellow in the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers, past president of the Florida chapter, and I am a fellow in the International Academy of Family Law Lawyers as well. All of those required board certification prior to being allowed to be a fellow, as well as another test nationally and locally, and written tests and oral tests as well.
And how long have you been a member or a fellow of the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers?
I have been a fellow since 2020, and I was president in 2012.
How long have you been a fellow in the International Academy of Family Lawyers?
Approximately 5 years.
In your work as a family law attorney, did you have occasion to represent Wendy Adelson?
I did represent Wendy Adelson in the end of 2012, I believe it was, 2013, and part of 2014.
Would you call her divorce a bitter custody battle?
I would not. That's not how I would characterize it.
How would you characterize it?
She had a relocation case where she desired to go to Miami. All relocation cases are a little bit more difficult than just regular custody cases because we almost always have to have a court determination on a relocation case because unlike almost all other family law cases, relocation is a win-lose thing. Almost everything else in family law is sort of a split the baby. Relocation is not. So we did have to go to court on that, and that going to court always is a little bit harder, but in general, this was more or less after that a run-of-the-mill kind of parenting issue kind of case.
Is it unusual to seek, in your practice, has it been unusual to seek relocation?
No, not at all. I have two right now.
Now, speaking to Tallahassee, why is it not unusual?
Why is it not unusual?
Yes.
It's not unusual because it depends on why someone is here in Tallahassee. Tallahassee has a lot of students with the university. They may graduate with a degree, have children, expect to be able to move somewhere else after they graduate. One person wants to leave, the other person doesn't want to leave. The two cases I have right now, they're not here in front of this court, so they're actually, one of them settled. But one of them, the mother received a potential job offer in North Carolina. The father lived here. She wanted to move to North Carolina. All of his family was here. Her family was not. She wanted to move somewhere else, so that was one. And another one that I have right now is a person wants to move to Pensacola. My client wants to move to Pensacola because her family is there, and the father does not want to because his job is here. So it's almost always about moving to be close to your family when a marriage dissolves. I mean, that even happened with my sister when she divorced in Florida. She moved to Atlanta to being close to my parents. It's a very common thing for people to want to move to be near their parents, no matter how old they are.
Now, do you have parents who attend client meetings?
I do. And it doesn't seem to matter whether my clients are 20 or 40. I have many cases where a mom or a dad or sister or somebody comes to almost every meeting I have, including mediations, and they're heavily involved in the divorce of their sibling or their child, regardless of age. It's just something, families tend to be enmeshed in their other families' divorces. They do. I usually let them come to mediation because sometimes it's important to hear how the mediation is going so that they don't try to armchair quarterback it after the mediation.
Understood. Now, you indicated that you typically have to go to court for relocation.
We'll hear more from Wendy's attorney after a quick break. Thank you for watching Opening Statement. That's all for this episode of Opening Statements, my friends. I'm your host, Julie Grant, and it's been great being with you. On this show, I am calling out any pants on fire moments in our big trials and true crime stories, and I want you to come along with me. Opening Statements is live every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern on Court TV. Thank you for downloading this episode. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. You can watch past shows anytime you like on CourtTV.com.